All right, I have been promising I'm going to show the setup of my JMGO N1 projector. And I just ceiling mounted it, and I'm going to give a walkthrough of my setup for those that are interested. First thing I want to talk about is the ceiling mount. You'll notice that I am not using the JMGO mount. I did get one. I've got it. I don't like it. Let me correct that. I like it, but it comes with two different length poles, and I find both of them too long. I have 8-foot ceilings, and I wanted to have my projector fairly snug to the ceiling. If I would have used even the shortest pole, that probably would have added another 8 inches down. And frankly, this is a permanent installation in my living room, so that just doesn't work. I use an existing projector mount that I had for an old 1080 LCD projector that I've got here, and it's dusty as hell. And I was able to sort of Frankenstein it together and use this tiny little screw hole that is in the very center of the base that spins, and then attached it onto there. I've got a picture. I am going to see if I can drop it into this video, and if I am, then that means it's showing to you right now. And if it's not showing right now, then I didn't figure the goddamn thing out. So there we go. Okay, so here's what I've got set up. So you'll notice along the ceiling, I have got some wire covers. So coming from the back to the projector, I have got a few cables going in and out. I've got one HDMI cable going in. That's the candy striped one you see there. That is coming in from my video. The one on the HDMI, I think it's 1 port or 2 port, whichever one is the also the audio out. That is going to a little box. I don't know if you can see it. It's on top of there. And that is a splitter. So my surround sound system is an older 5.1 system. It works great, but it is only optical. It doesn't have HDMI one in. So that is a system that will take the HDMI signal, convert it into optical. The optical then goes into this line, and it runs all the way over to my sound bar that is mounted up there. And then there's also surround sound speakers scattered around as well. So that's the only cable running through there. Running through the back here is the power for that converter box, the power for the JMGO, and the HDMI 1 cable. I did have to get extension power cables for both the N1 and for that little power box, so that those go all the way down. So we're coming all the way down around here, down the wall, past the plant, down the wall. And right now we've got a mess, but this will get cleaned up. But what I've gotten here is I have back here, we can see this box going in here. That is an HDMI switch box, because I have a NVIDIA Shield, which you see down here, and I also have a Steam Deck. And because, unfortunately, the N1 only has 2 inputs, or I should say 2 HDMI ports, you need to use a splitter if you're going to have more than one and you want audio out. I think that's a huge mistake on JMGO. They should have put 3, really 4 HDMI ports. I think in this day and age, that was, honestly, it's a stupid mistake, and they should have done better with that. And I went through a couple of HDMI switching boxes because I needed to have CEC control. And even though some said they did, it finally took me a while to find one that worked. And I'll link to what I've got there. And I'll also link to the mount that I have up there as well. And rest in peace, Stadia. But your controllers are still working great for my Steam Deck. So that's what I've got there. So I've got my NVIDIA Shield. I've got somewhere buried in there is a 1.5 terabyte drive for all of my Plex movies, and then this cable mess and all of those pieces there as well. So let's fire up the N1 and say hi to Hazel. She was just diagnosed with cancer, so send some good thoughts to that puppy's way. She's a sweetheart. All right, so we've got our screen here. I have just a basic matte white mechanical screen. I think it is 92 inches diagonal. I bought it off of Wayfair. a while back, and I think I got it less than $100. I checked today, and they're just barely over $100. I don't get any speckle issues with this. It's not an ALR screen, so I think that that is probably why I don't get any speckles. All right, let me let that drop. I've got my NVIDIA Shield remote here, and let's power this bad boy on. And the last time I used this, I was actually doing the settings in my N1. So I'm going to go over to settings up here and change the input to the Shield, and to show you that CEC does work. All right. So I'm now in the Shield interface. And I'm going to power this off. Okay. So that powered off the Shield. And you can also see that the light is off on the N1. I'm going to power on the Shield. You can see the N1 turns on, and then the screen automatically goes into the Shield. I know there was another user saying they could not get that to work. I'm not sure what to tell you. I can go through my settings and show you, but this goes right into the Shield. Let me tell you why I like the Shield better. The N1 interface is buggy. It's laggy. I'm not really happy with it. And the fact that you can't get Netflix on there. If you have a Shield and you're using Plex, it just makes more sense, and then you're getting direct play. You're not sending anything over Wi-Fi. It's a direct cable network. So here we go. This is the settings here. Here are the settings I have on my Shield. I also did install Google TV on the Shield. So one thing that I did is the device preferences. Let's go down to display and sound. You'll see that the resolution shows 4K at 29. But if you go a little bit deeper in there, I actually changed it to, let's find you here. It is actually set at 29, my bad. I thought I had switched it to 30. The reason I have it defaulting to that is because even though there is the MEMC that you can turn off on the N1, even with it off, I was getting the soap opera effect. It wasn't until I forced the N1, forced the Shield to only do 29.9 that I finally got rid of the stupid soap opera effect. And the video on this, fantastic. Super bright, brilliant screen. I haven't really changed any settings on here, to be honest with you. We got a little video here, some color.
That's Janet, the custom t-shirt company she ordered.
A stupid ad. What are you gonna do? I ordered some t-shirts. I got that. Of course, it's always hard to tell. Right now it is about 7 o'clock, the day after the first day of summer in Portland, Oregon. We've got sunlight for another 2.5 hours. So it is plenty nice daylight. It's not quite dusk yet. So this is a really brilliant image here for sure. Turn that volume down on there. So in the video, blues and reds don't come through as well, but I can tell you in person, as anybody who has this and any video you've seen, they're brilliant in person. Video does not do a great job of capturing just how nice this is. I mean, these pictures are simply amazing. Amazing as hell. So yeah, that's what we've got there. If we go over to the N1 remote, take a look here. Not my favorite remote because it does not light up, but we're going to go to the settings. And so I'm pulling, even though I'm on the Shield, it is still pulling up the N1 settings when I use this remote. A couple things. Projector settings. I could never get the auto keystone to work for me, honestly. Manual is really great, though. I have this really dialed in for manual. As you can see on the black edges, it goes right to the edge of there. It is some brilliant setup. Keystone is actually what I have been using. So the manual keystone has been the key. Autofocus works great. I don't really use any picture movement and zooming because I adjusted the projector to get as center as possible. And then I use the keystone feature to make it work. So if you're using the keystone, you really don't have to play with the zooming and movement as much. Picture memory is where you can save these settings. So I did discover that all it saves are the settings you have in projector settings. If you go through and change the color, if you go through and change MEMC, anything like that, it does not save that in the picture memory. It's only these settings, which is unfortunate because I would love to have one setting for my Shield and a completely separate setting for my Steam Deck. If we go down to device preferences and we go down to inputs here, if you're looking at how I have set up, so this is my HDMI CEC setup on the N1. If you're having issues with your system setup, check that out. Also check your CEC list, make sure that you actually see your system on there. Let's go down to picture or Vivid I found is closest. I did do the update, and like other people said, some cinema and some other settings went away, but it's pretty good there. If you go to advanced video, so I moved all these to strong and high, except for, again, this stupid soap opera effect. Right now, this is off. I'm not getting it. I'm getting a really nice film quality image. I'm not getting that ultra smooth, which I can't stand for watching regular. It works great if you like sports. Looks great if you're playing a game. Terrible to me if you're watching something. And again, the only way I could get that away is if I changed that in the NVIDIA. If I was watching this directly through the N1, you would definitely see the soap opera effect on here. And that's a setup I have. So a couple adapters, external, using my own ceiling mount to make it work. And all in all, extremely happy with this. I wish that the ceiling mount came with just one more shorter pole that allowed you to really get that to sit up nice and close to the ceiling. But, you know, we're crafty people. We figure shit out. So there you go. If you're looking for some ways to set some stuff up, that is the way to do it. And again, I highly recommend not using the N1 interface. Get a stick, get an NVIDIA Shield, get a Chromecast, get a Roku, get a Fire Apple TV. I don't care what you use. You're going to be a lot happier with that interface than you are with the N1 interface. Peace.